Hi folks, I'm Deckbuilding, and welcome to the Artificers Guild, the home of all things Artifact. So last week, everyone got to try out some drafting in a new draft simulator, and I thought it would be a great idea to go through a draft and explain some of the basic draft mechanics so we're all prepared, ready for when the game drops. However, I have been working closely with a team putting together an Artifact super site, so let me introduce you to my favourite Artifact resource, and then towards the end of the video, we'll go on to the draft itself. This is Artcraft, or Artcraft.io. It does all of the things you might want an artifact site to do, and by Jove does it do it well. We have constructed deck building and deck sharing, draft simulation as I kind of hinted at before, a complete card collection of revealed cards, and the ability to do some card rating based on its meta score. There are articles including guides with images and videos to help you through, as well as plenty of stuff still to come, including, and really importantly for me, stats when they finally get access to an API from Artifact itself. Also, you might see the new logo, as they were changing this around when I was recording this, so if you don't see the logo, or the same one I'm seeing, don't worry too much, you are in the right place. Again, that URL on your screen right now, www.artcraft.io. This is not sponsored whatsoever, I've just been working with these guys to help them get this site online because I think it's a fantastic resource. So without further ado, let's go through it. Let's start with the card collection itself, which you can find under the card database. Now you can search through all of these cards with this nifty little UI over on the left here. Let's say we want to take a look at Kana. So we can do this in a multitude of ways. We can just click on the little blue icon here, and it's defaulting to everything, so I know we can see Kana on our screen, but let's bring it down to just heroes. So now our entire screen is just blue heroes, and we could easily find Kana. But if you want to reset this and turn everything back on, we can just click on all and turn off blue. And we're back to where we were before. And instead, let's search for Kana now. And there she is. So as well as just being a card database, as you might expect, it's got all of the card information. So clicking on Kana, we can go to the card itself. Here, you can see the hero's ability, signature card, and stats, all with fantastic tooltips if you need to check on the details of it. All really built nicely into the client itself. Stats are rated low, medium, high, and extreme. As we can see, Kana's got low, low, and high, but these will give you an indication as to where the hero sits in terms of their stats. Below the card itself, we see details of the artist, and this is one thing that I really like about the team behind this. They're not really looking at just building a website that they can earn loads of bucks off. They don't really care about that much. They're just building a resource for the community, much like this channel is, and they are putting the artists' names and even their social details where they can find them. So you can see Scott M. Fisher's Instagram here. They're putting them out there to try and build some sort of reputation for the people that put a lot of effort into the card art. So if you want to see where all this card art comes from, you can follow these links and take a look at these amazing, amazing artists. Now, you've probably been spending a lot of the time while I'm talking about this side, looking at this side. This is something that I'm actually really interested to see you guys get your hands on. This, or at least this nice graph here, is the meta rating. Now, if we hover over the little eye here, we'll see roughly what the meta means. So what you're able to do on this tab is rate each card on 5 different categories: ramp, aggro, support, economy, and control. They're kind of loose terms, so ramp isn't specifically only things that'll help buff your mana, like Stars Align. You can have other cards that slowly ramp up and get better. With that being said, you guys should be able to jump in and rate any cards you want. This is one thing I really want to see you guys get your grips on and see what you guys do in terms of changing these graphs. You can see me and the other experts that are currently in the beta of this, we have massively varying opinions of Kana. I think Kana's personally a heavily aggressive card, whereas they seem to think Kana's less aggressive and more of a ramp card, which I guess is kind of true, but it depends on how you play around her, I guess. And you'll see that it's averaged out quite nicely. And it will continue to average out with all of your scores once you get online and start submitting your different ratings for the different heroes and the other cards. Now, there are a few artifact experts behind the scenes. I think they include me as one, but I'm definitely not one of them. But yeah, there are a bunch of people who know a lot about artifact behind the scenes who their scores are going to be weighted a bit more so that you can definitely trust these meta ratings. Now, that's not to say the community as a whole won't have an effect. You guys, if you guys all think that Kana is an economy hero and all of you vote 10 on economy for Kana, that will definitely start swaying things. Please don't do that, don't. I've personally rated every single card so far. So you go, make sure you guys go in and have a tweak and to see what I and the other experts have rated. And if you don't like what we've rated, then change it. If you do like it, then keep voting it up, keep rating the same way, because it will all add together and we'll all have a nice collective score together at the end of the day. Now, I've spoken enough about this meta rating. You will see this in a lot of places though, and it's a lot of what this site is built around. But let's move on to the discussion tab. So here you can discuss about the card you're looking at. You can see that I've already quoted hashtag Team Prelex because, sorry Kana, but I'm with Prelex forever. Even though Prelex is a terrible card. That's besides the point. So you can discuss and have your opinion on every single card. You can talk with other users about the card, about the particular meta of that card, or discuss why you might give it a certain meta rating even. You can decide how to meta rate with all of your fellow artificers in the comment section here. So it's just another real nice way of bringing the community together on this site and really just giving it to you guys to make with it what you will. Now you'll see there are also counters and synergies sections. These are quote unquote coming soon. I've been told how this is going to sort of work because they are working on it already. There'll be verified experts, i.e. kind of myself, but more importantly the other experts, the actual artifact players, who will very soon be able to add counters and synergy cards to these areas. So for example, synergy, you might go with Diabolic Revelation for Kana because it damages all your units, allowing you to prey on the weak much more easily. So an expert might be able to suggest that card, and then they're looking for a rating system so that you guys can, like with Reddit Karma, can plus or minus these, and eventually like the one that gets voted the most will be at the top. So you'll be able to see the highest synergetic cards and the biggest counters to each card. So now you guys are comfortable with the card database and looking at the cards themselves, let's go into the meat of this. Let's have a look at the deck simulator. Let's build a deck. Now I've got a nice clean deck here, and you just go into decks, build a deck, pretty simple stuff. And you'll immediately notice that this user interface is split into two sections again. On the left, you've got all about selecting the cards, looking at what cards you want and finding out which ones you're going to bring across. And on the right-hand side, you've got the deck list itself, the deck construction. Now, with the searching and sorting, you can click on basically anything. You can go scroll through the cards here, you can click and drag them. This all does work on mobile as well. You can scroll down through the big list here if you wanted, or you could just simply search for the card you want. So say we want Kana again. If I could spell Kana properly. There we go, there's Kana. I could bring her over, just click on her, puts her in our deck. Or if I didn't want to search that way, I could use these nice little filters we've got. So you see it's defaulted to hero. We can click on blue hero, there's Kana. Let's say, who do we want to have with Kana? Some sort of green hero that buffs her up. So I just want some sort of green hero. I know green's pretty good at buffing. I click on green and I see Enchantress. I'm going to have Enchantress with my Prey on the Weak. So that will bring them both across just by clicking on them. And then you can go through the different things like main cards. And just by clicking on this section, it'll automatically select all three. Spells, creeps, and improvements. But if you just want to look at one, you can just click on spells. And then you've only got green spells here now. Let's have Stars Align, because who doesn't like Stars Align? And then equally, you can go over to items. That will select all of them. But I only want health items. I just want some Traveler's Cloaks. Give me those Traveler's Cloaks. There's 3 of them. Fantastic. So we see we've started to build a deck. And as we started to build it, you can look on the right-hand side here and you can see the meta score has changed for our deck. Our deck is heavily, I mean, there's very few cards in at the moment, but it's heavily support, relatively aggro, and heavily ramp too. So obviously Kana herself is quite rampy, and Stars Align is very rampy, and Enchantress is very supporty, and that's where this score is coming from. But the more you add cards to it, more and more and more, the more this will change, and give you a general idea as to whether you're building in a very focused manner or not. And it really does help with deck building. Now again, as with everything else, you see all these underlined things. There are a huge number of tooltips, absolutely everywhere. These tooltips are throughout the entire thing. Every single thing you can imagine has tooltips on it. I thought I tricked out the developers. I thought I found something, or I thought I would have thought of something that they wouldn't have maybe put a tooltip on. These little arrows, which mean you can place something in any lane. Yeah, they're tooltip too. As is the initiative arrow, the initiative little lightning bolt. So if I wanted to show off a lightning bolt as well, we could look at hipfire. So we'd have to select the little black icon and start looking for hipfire. And there we see we can get initiative there and also the lightning bolt here. So absolutely everything is tooltips. This is beyond fantastic for newer players. For example, if you're a newer player and you just take one of the deck lists and we'll go through where deck lists get saved and how you get new ones. Say you take a pros deck list and you want to try and emulate the play they were making. Well, these tooltips will be able to help you get to achieve that. Maybe you didn't know exactly what they were doing. You just hover over every card in their deck and you'll immediately know exactly what they were doing. An absolutely fantastic system, and I can't find anything even as remotely close to as good as how this system works. So that just about covers the left-hand side, so let's go through the rest of the things on the right-hand side. You recognise this meta graph by now, and I've told you roughly how it works. So what about the rest of it? Well, the main thing you'll want to worry about is the actual deck itself, so let's just put some hipfires in here. Obviously you won't be able to use them until you put a black hero in, but we'll put them in there for now. So you can actually reorder all of your heroes and all of your cards, just like you would anywhere else. So let's fill up our heroes. So say you wanted to put all your 3 black heroes first. You just click and drag them. And that would save your deck list, as in you've got your first 3 here, then you've got your Kana in 4th and your Enchantress in 5th. You can also do exactly the same thing with your cards itself. You'll see they've actually all slotted into exactly when I clicked on them. So it'll just pull them across in order, but you can just click and drag them down to reorder them. So say I wanted all of my heroes at the top actually, so let's drag these 2 down to the bottom. So we've got all my heroes, and we'll probably want to put the black heroes top. So there we go. So we've got all of our black heroes, and as you see, every time I hover over something, it'll come up with the card itself. So you'll never need to worry about trying to remember that card. Anything you hover on, you'll be able to see. And again, there are the keywords nestled. Everywhere you go, this thing tries to help you. Now, moving back up to the top, we've seen meta, so what about the other 2 columns? Well, composition will tell you basically what you've built. So you'll see that you've got 15 black cards, you've got 3 items, 4 blue cards, and 5 green cards. It's just a nice overall view, and as you can see, as you hover over it, it'll change. And if you don't hover over it at all, it'll tell you the total number. So 27, I'm still missing a fair bunch of cards. You'll also see just below it the different curves. So you've got your mana curve with the different colours. Really nice for showing you when you can play certain cards. So if I didn't have, in fact, I don't have very many early black cards. So maybe I actually want one of each colour hero first, because I'm not going to be able to play many black cards on turn 1. And you'll see now that I've added a bunch more cards. We've got a very unfocused meta graph. Moving on to gold curve, this is your items, so all of my items are early game. I know I don't need to earn much money at all to get my items online. And then your damage curve, this is how much damage your things are doing. So you've got one thing that's hitting for 2 or 3, that's going to be your Kana. I think this is all creep stuff, or creeping units, so your heroes as well. And then we've got 2 heroes hit in the 4 or 5 section, and 2 heroes in the 6 or 7. And we haven't put any creeps in there yet. This all just gives you a nice immediate overview of exactly what your deck does. Moving up into actions, you can save your deck, reset your deck back to 0, and you can draw a hand. So this is a sample first hand. That's a pretty rubbish first hand. Draw again. Oh, it's still rubbish. So something's telling you that maybe you want to put some different cards in your deck. And then you can hide the graphs if you want a nice cleaner UI, or you really just want to focus on looking at that deck list itself. The final things to go over are, you can obviously rename your deck by clicking on this little pencil. So, test deck, there we go. So let's save test deck. And now that has gone into our deck section. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at that. So to look at our decks, there's a section called My Decks with a little crossed eye through it, and that will make a bit more sense in a minute. So here you'll see our test deck that we just saved. And if you go into quick view, you can see actually straight just from this index page, all of the cards that are in there. But we're not going to focus on that one. Let's have a look at one of the decks that I made earlier. This is a deck I made weeks ago, I think. This black-red 0 IQ deck is basically just face rushing, or not having to worry about too much and just going straight for face. So there's the quick view, you see all the cards there. Again, you've still got this hover mechanic, so you can do this even from this index screen. But let's go into this deck and see what we can do actually with our saved decks. So immediately we can share these, and that will copy a deck link to your clipboard, which you can paste around with your friends, and they'll be able to paste these just into their browser, and that'll bring up the deck. Obviously, this is the exact same deck, so it's just going to reload this deck. And there we have it. There's our deck. So that's the share. Well, what else have we got here? Well, we can go back and edit our deck. This is probably one of the most important functions here. If you've saved a deck, but you want to change things around, you can press edit, and it'll take you back to the deck constructor screen, where you can change it and then save it again, or you can even save it under a different name. Another important thing to mention, and this is why that icon had a crossed eye, you can publish your deck. And once a deck is published, it'll be visible by the wider community, where they can help comment on it, they can see it, You don't just have to share it with this direct link. So along with publishing, something I'd probably recommend, especially to you that want to share this deck with your friends or maybe even friends of friends and extend it to other people, you can make guides for each deck, and absolutely everyone can do this. You don't need to be some sort of content creator with special access. Anyone can make a guide for their deck. And this will appear with the deck list. I've actually written one for this one now, so if we have a scroll down, we'll see here's the guide I wrote. I had to force myself to write it. It isn't really written, but you can put anything in here. There's a card system, so you can just drop any card in there. You can drop videos in there. You can space it out nicely. You can have images, etc., etc. There's so much you can do with just the guide system alone. And next to that, of course, we've got discussion. So I've put here, if you came here from the artifact video, for the Artcraft video rather, this very video, then let me know in this discussion. So go and find this deck. I will publish it. I will remember to publish it, and then post a comment here saying you came from the video. That'd be pretty cool to see which one of you actually, like, who actually follows all the way through. So on top of being able to do extra things like that, and you've got draw a hand here, you can toggle graphs again, you can actually see immediately just straight off what this deck does. So if you've just shared this with someone else, they will immediately see the composition and they will see the meta. They'll be like, okay, this is a very aggro heavy with a bit of control and a bit of everything else in it, but it's mostly aggro deck. Thank you, Divok, for sharing this aggro deck with me. They'll also see the initial 3 heroes that spawn, and then the 1-turn delay hero and the 2-turn delay hero. I really like this way of explaining it as well. It's really nice. And the deck isn't rated yet. Can I rate it up? I can't rate my own deck. Oh, yes I can. There you go. Haha. 100% rating. But you guys can also rate decks as well. So if I shared this deck with you guys, you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down to show other people whether or not this was a good deck guide, or deck in general. So once you've published this deck, you'll see it on the full list of decks. So if we go into here, these are all of the decks that have been published so far. And you'll see the most common thing is all the packs decks are here. So likewise with all of the other features on this website, you can search for things. So we can look for packs. There are your 4 packs decks. Maybe I just want a packs deck that only has blue in it. So you click on blue. And here are your 2 packs decks with blue cards in it. Quickly before we get into the draft, I just want to make a couple of mentions of things. There is also a pack simulator, which just draws a pack of cards. So we're all going to be getting 10 packs of cards with the artifact game. Why don't you guys go in here, roll this 10 times, and let me know what packs you're going to be getting when the game releases. Obviously, we haven't got all of the cards yet, but this will give you a bit of an idea of what you're getting. I'm getting Axe, sweet. The site also persists through accidental refreshes and stuff like that. So if you're building a deck and you accidentally hit a refresh, it'll be perfectly fine. Nothing will change. So without further ado, let's get on to my draft. So you just go into Decks, Draft Simulator. And here we go. Here's my first draft. As soon as we open it, we get that same cool animation that we saw from the pack simulator. I really like just these little finesse touches here and there. They are working on and hope to soon release some sort of AI opponent. Now, they already have one, but it's a lot more random. In future, they're going to be having one that just picks 2 of these meta stats. So say it'll pick a ramping aggro. So that particular AI bot that's picking cards against you in draft will be looking for other good ramp aggro cards. So it'll feel a lot more like the game actually does. You'll have what as close to another human picking for an actual other deck against you. And of course their choices will be weighted more towards the higher ranked cards of that chosen meta, which you guys get to vote on. In terms of how it works, it's almost exactly the same as what we know from Artifact. And for those of you that don't know, you get 5 full card packs that are put into a draft pool for each player, of which you will pick from. The first pack will be shown with all 12 cards, and you'll get to choose 2 of them to keep. Then you pass that pack onto another player, and you'll be given a pack with 2 cards missing. You then pick 2 cards from the remaining 10 of that pack, and you keep doing the same until the pack is empty. Then you start with a brand new pack, and continue the same steps. You do this a total of 5 times. You'll need to pick 1 hero from each full pack, so if you haven't got one by the end, and in your final slot you will get a random hero. Likewise, if you've already picked a hero, any other heroes throughout the rest of that pack will be unselectable. But rather than me talking about it, let me just show you. So as we go through, you'll see things like the meta stat change constantly. So what are we going to want here? Typically on these first packs, you just want to pick just the best cards. You just want to pick up the best cards that you see. So I really like Disciple of Nevermore. I think Disciple of Nevermore is a great card. I also really like Lightning Strike. Simple, easy, fun. Confirm those picks. Now what have we got? And you want to be keeping an eye out for a hero you want, but I don't really want Viper and I didn't want Earthshaker either. So let's stick up with blue. There's a nice tower barrage. Steel Strength sounds like a super cool spell, so I'm going to be taking this one as well. Still haven't got a oh, here we go, Vesture of the Tyrant. We definitely want this. Vesture of the Tyrant is a fantastic card. And Dimensional Portal's also pretty good, so let's take both of those. I can't resist this. Bolt of Damocles. Just an incredibly fun spell. I'm just going to say this now. This isn't going to be the best draft you've ever seen, because I tend to go more for fun cards than for actually good cards. But let's take in a Glody Vandal as well, because it's just good solid value there. And now we're looking at more blue cards. We're almost definitely going to have at least one blue hero in. So picking Strafing Run's not a bad idea. And Assured Destruction can never be bad, right? All heroes have +4 siege. Maybe that would destroy me. Maybe I don't want Assured Destruction. Maybe I want Smash the Defenses. That's a good solid card. It's got card draw in it. And again, you see we've got these tooltips everywhere. Condemn, improvements. Love it. Confirm those picks. And Rix. Why is Rix our first hero? Oh well. We're probably not going to be using Rix, but we can use the basic heroes, which I'll show you when we get to the deck building itself. Ironfog Goldmine, brilliant card. Another Dimensional Portal. Is that better than another Ironfog? I think it is. I think that's what we go for. Luna. Yes, definitely taking Luna. Fantastic hero, and we needed a blue hero anyway. Blink Dagger, I think so. Blink Dagger and Luna is a nice little combo. You can actually trigger Lucent Beam, put Blink Dagger on Luna, blink her to a later lane, and then you'll get 2 triggers of Lucent Beam in 1 round. It's fantastic. I'm not sure what language that was, probably nothing. Disciple of Nevermore is also going to be another nice pick here. And I like Better Late Than Never. Better Late Than Never. It is pretty nice, but I think I'm going to go with Foresight. Actually, let's have a look at our mana curve. Yep, we're going with Foresight because we don't have very many 4 mana cards. And now we're basically going with a blue-black deck, right? But we might splash green because there's a lot of green here. So let's pick the black and let's pick a Thunderhide pack, because why not? Thunderhide pack is just a great finisher. As we move through this draft, it's looking more and more like I might put some green in, because Unearthed Secrets and Emissary, both really nice cards. We don't need Emissary. We don't have many units. I'm not going to pick Emissary up here. I'm going to go with the Musket. And then these last 2 cards we have to have. So this is the end of our second pack now. And as you can see, it's just auto-selecting both of them. I can't unselect them, I can't clear them, because you're forced to take these. And Kana, another fantastic blue hero. Definitely picking her up. And probably a Hipfire. I like Hipfire here. Good card. So you're just looking for really good value cards as you go through here. And you will have more cards than you need at the end. So it's not too bad if you don't pick up absolutely everything you need. Another Tower Barrage is quite nice. Do I need another Disciple? Already got 2. I do really like Disciple and Evermore, but I don't think I'm going to take another one. That's probably a little bit too crazy. Let's instead go for a Reptile. Because why not? It was the first card I saw. Now you'll see Pugna and in the last pack, Omni Knight, are blanked out because I've already picked Kana from this set, from this round, right? This is round 3. Round 3 I picked up Kana. So I cannot have another hero, no matter what. Do I want another Vesture? Maybe, if there's nothing else I want, but I actually want both of these. Oh, no I don't. I want a Glody Vandal. So Aghanim Sanctum sounds really nice, but I don't think I'd ever really be in a state where I can spend all of that mana. I've got... I don't know why I'm looking down here. There's a mana curve I can look at. Yeah, I don't really need to worry about late game cards. I don't have many of them. So I need to pick more up. Phantom Assassin. That would have been a great hero to have. Oh well, we already picked one up this round. So Ironfog Goldmine it is. And this is another thing they hope to improve with this AI. So the AI wouldn't usually let a Phantom Assassin through this far. Or another player wouldn't anyway. But the AI, if the AI picks an aggro deck, or an economy deck, or a control deck, any of those types of decks will heavily favour Phantom Assassin most likely, so they'll definitely pick her up. And you can see now already, look, we're really a very rampy deck, which is pretty true. We are definitely quite rampy. I think I'm going to go with an Assassin's Apprentice here. It's a nice little card to have. It helps you on turn 1, I guess. A Glody Vandal. No, we've already got loads of those. Let's go Grazing Shot. And do we want Troll Soothsayer? I don't know if we do, but it's a 6 mana blue card. We didn't have any. Well, we had Luna's ones, but that's it now. And Better Late Than Never in our final pick. That's not bad. So round 4. We're not going to make the same mistake again. We're not going to immediately pick the first hero we see. Omni Knight is there. I do like Omni Knight. Do we want a green card? Do we want a green hero? See, Riley is quite a good black hero, so I don't really mind having to put Riley in. Do we? You know what, I think no. We're gonna go blue-black. I'm locking it in now. We're going blue-black. But look, if we're on round 4, there's only 2 full rounds left. And it's only just now I've locked in. That's one thing I really like about this whole draft thing, that you can just pick really good cards and then eventually you'll figure out exactly what you need to go for. So let's grab a Ventriloquy as well. Winter Wyvern. I think I might pass on Winter Wyvern as well. Having 10 damage would be quite nice. Oh, look at those nestled tooltips. Such a nice little touch. Compel, definitely good here. Do we go for another dimensional portal? I think we do. Just summon all the creeps. All the creeps. From this one, Iron Fog and Cutting Plan. Pretty easy pick, black and red. Another Rix, no thank you. Tau Barrage, and let's grab a second Vesture. Why not? I don't think we're going to put it in. We don't have enough gold generation, but we're avoiding green now. And Meepo is our last hero. Thank God for that. We're not going to be using Meepo. Or maybe we do, just because it's fun. Why not? Do we have enough Iron Fogs? I think we do, right? Yeah, we've got 3 Iron Fog gold mines, so I don't need another one. Let's go. Oh, Annihilation. Annihilation is a good card. Let's do that in Keenfolk. So what we're really looking here is for a nice black or a nice blue hero to round things out. I don't mind putting 1 Riley in and 1 Jamoy, but putting 2 of either would not be great. So let's try and avoid that if possible. We don't have any of our coloured cards here, so we're just going to have to pick the items. Still no heroes. I'm starting to worry now that we're going to random another really bad hero. Don't want another dimensional portal, I don't think. Let's just get some units on the board. And still no hero. Starting to get worried. Poaching Knife is great with black heroes because they're naturally good at killing, and this gives you more gold for killing things. And let's have Path of Cunning. Why the heck not? Another Annihilation. We're going to actually random. We're going to random our last hero. Fingers crossed. Please give me a good hero. It's another frickin' Meepo. Oh my word. Okay then, so our deck's looking pretty interesting. So here we can see these are all the cards. There's 132 cards we can pick out of, and we need 54. So we're going to pick Kana, definitely. Luna, definitely. And Riley, definitely. Do we double Meepo? I think, yeah, let's just double Meepo. Why not? This is definitely it's just a meme deck now. We've gone full meme. I'm sorry, guys. And in terms of what we want to add, we don't want any red cards. So let's go for... I'm just going to put a decent flurry of things in. Compel's nice. 1 better late than never. Don't need Path of the Wise. Couple of... Oh, I accidentally put a Path of the Wise in there. A Tower Barrage. Foresight, why not? Dimensional Portals, putting a couple of those in. Putting a couple of Annihilations in. Bolt of Damocles. We're at 29. We still need some more. Another Tower Barrage. Soothsayer, Dimensional Portal, why not? And 1 for me. 33 cards. We'll fill the rest with some black. So, Keenfolk Turret, always good. Improvements that you can place across lanes. Great for that splash card. Because if my Riley's in a lane that doesn't matter, I can just play it anywhere. Fantastic. Same with Iron Fog Gold Mines. They're just really nice to have because they just generate you more money. Who doesn't want more money? Everyone wants more money. How many cards do we need? 4. Cover of Night, nice late game. Hipfire, pretty good. Initiative, who doesn't want initiative? Everyone wants initiative. Forward Charge might be pretty good with Kana. Yeah, let's grab that for Kana. Why not? And then we need 1 more card. What are we going to have? Grazing Shot. The little pew, do 2 damage across lanes. So there's our main deck. Put some items in. Vesture of the Tyrant, definitely. Poaching Knife, why not? Couple of Blink Daggers, and then fill it up with Travelers. We need 1 more thing. We can see here that we've got 4 weapons, 1 armor, and 3 trinkets. Let's get a more expensive trinket. Let's put Book of the Dead in. And there's our deck. Draft deck. Save. Save. And there we go. There is my draft deck. Finished. A quick note, because it automatically brings you here, if you haven't got a valid deck, so you haven't got 40 cards, 5 heroes, 9 items, etc., it won't let you save. It'll tell you what's wrong. It'll be like, oh, you've only got 8 items. Please add another item. So there's my draft. And I can draw a hand. What's my first hand? That's pretty decent. Some no accidents, so I can one-shot things. I can summon a new Meepo if I really wanted to. I don't want to summon Meepos. Look at this frickin' trolley deck. So there's my draft, and that's how you draft in this game and also on this site. So finally, with that out of the way, let me quickly cover articles on Artcraft, as well as some account management stuff. So only some users will be able to write articles. You'll see them out there. There'll be massive guides and there'll be articles talking about economy and stuff like that. If you are a budding writer and you want to have a go, keep an eye out for links to the Discord for this group, because they are looking for people that want to help write stuff on, so they can make you effectively a content creator, verified writer, or whatever it's called, and you'll then be able to commit articles. Otherwise, you're just going to be looking at guides. Anyone can create a guide, but you have to get verified through their Discord channel and stuff in order to write articles, if that's something you want to do. In terms of your account, so you may have noticed that you kind of have to be logged in for this. You can create a Steam link account, so my account is linked through Steam. This will, in future, have a lot of huge benefits. In future, once they get hold of the Artifact API, you'll be able to choose to show what cards you have, or just show all cards when you're looking at things like the database. So you can pick a deck build from only your selection, which is really nice. They're also looking at ways of doing it so that when you look at other people's decks, it'll show you how much it'll cost to buy what you're missing. Or when you're searching for decks, you can search for only decks that you've got all the cards for, or only decks that you've got at least 50% of the cards for, and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for those. Those changes are going to be coming hopefully as soon as they can get their hands on that API. You can also add social accounts to your account in this website. So I've added my YouTube to this account. So on every single comment, guide I create, every article I make, it'll add that as like a little signature to help sort of generate traffic for you guys that are helping add stuff to the site. They want to help you guys out more, if not as much as you're helping them. So this is something I've quietly been working on behind the scenes for a fair few months now. I really wanted to make sure there was a site that embodied this channel, that is there to provide the community with everything they need in one nice neat little parcel. So give the site a go and let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I really appreciate all the likes and subscribes. It certainly helps the channel out, so thank you very much for those. I've been Divok of the Artificers Guild, and I'll see you next time.